Good morning, everyone. Ryan Williams AFC back with another match review. Arsenal defeating Newcastle 2-0 last night. Of course, here is the match review. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on the game and the team selection and, of course, the goals. So, Arsenal triumphant in a 2-0 victory against Newcastle, leaving it to extra time. Let's be real, the game itself was quite flat, was quite boring. At times, we pretty much saw the Arsenal before we played Chelsea, you know, slow, not enough chances created. I mean, we've tried to create a lot of chances, but hardly any on target. I mean, it was awful, you know. It took substitutions, which, you know, was Mikel Arteta's specialty last season when he came in, to change the game up. Now, of course, just before we get into the game and break down certain things, of course, in the warm-up, we did lose Gabriel Martinelli, and what a shock that is. And it's so annoying because he's just come back. We've seen how electric he's been. We've seen how much of a presence he's been, as well as Smith Rowe, you know, and helping out Saka and probably putting a battery in Lacazette. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, rejuvenating him and getting the team working as well. Do you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, you know, in the warm-up, we lost him. And right now, as of this recording, we have no clue on the extent of his injury and how long he'll be out for. So, you know, hopefully he'll get well soon, and hopefully he doesn't miss the rest of the season, because again, it's not looking good. It's just come back, and yeah, it's painful to see. He's such a young kid, and you know, he's literally been great since we've signed him. And you know, obviously when we lost him last season due to injury, it's not good. And then now he's only come back. He's only played a few fixtures, and already he just gets injured in the warm up. And you know, it's tough. It's tough. But you know what, Martinelli, get well soon. That's all we can really wish and hope for. And hopefully it's not a bad injury. Hopefully it's just, you know, something he can be out for a little while rather than a long period of time. Because again, you know, injuries can ruin a guy's career. We've seen it with Diaby. We've seen it with Jack Wilshere. And, you know, there's a lot of other players that I'm probably forgetting right now on top of my head. But at the end of the day, this guy has a very promising future. And, you know, riddled with injuries is the last thing you want. But, you know, as I said, get well soon, and fingers crossed he can be back. And, you know, we can get the ball rolling. So, let's get into the starting lineup. The starting lineup for me was a bit odd. We saw the players who I think is pretty much useless coming back into the team. We saw David Luiz back in, partnering Pablo Mari in that centre-back role. We saw Cedric Suarez, who I ideally picked to come in and play that right-back position. Tierney at the left. Obviously, Leno was in goal, so that's why I didn't really say anything. The midfield. So we had Joe Willock playing alongside Mohamed El Neni. And this is the thing I used to get at Arsene Wenger about, because there were times where he used to put Aaron Ramsey next to Granit Xhaka, and I just said, it just looks lazy. It just looks like you don't want to pick someone else. And granted, it looks like Thomas Partey was left out, and to be honest, that was a wise decision. Personally, I said in my preview, I felt Partey could play probably about 45 to 60 minutes, see how it goes. But looks like they want to, you know, keep him back. Maybe we'll see him against Crystal Palace this Thursday. We will see. And, you know, Granit Xhaka was on the bench, who later came on. I mean, Joe Willock, we're going to get into that. Don't worry, we're going to get into that. And then, of course, the front, the three in Pepe, Willian, and Saka. And then, no, not Saka, came on later, sorry. And Reece Nelson. And then we saw Lacazette up top. And I felt, it was just, I don't know. You know my thoughts about Pepe. I'm not exactly Pepe's biggest fan, because I feel like there's times where he's not there in terms of the game. He takes too many touches on the ball sometimes. And I just feel like, you know, yesterday again, he tried, don't get me wrong, but again, it just wasn't, I just felt it wasn't good enough. If I'm going to be blatantly obvious and harsh, it just wasn't good enough. And, you know, he was one of the players I was actually trying yesterday, but I just felt at times he was just sloppy on the ball. Sometimes the passes he was receiving, he just didn't really manage it well. But I don't know. Willian, for me, the guy's finished. I've been saying it for so long. I mean, it was a risk. If you go back in the video I made in the summer, I said it's a risk. I can't understand it. But I wasn't going to moan. But I have to moan now because in the back of my mind, we all knew this was going to happen. A guy relatively at the end of his career, in the twilight years in his playing career, and he's not doing enough. And it's not good enough. And it showed, they put a stat out in the game yesterday. They said 12 FA Cup appearances and 10 goals. That's all for Chelsea. What's he doing for Arsenal right now? Do you know what I mean? And yes, granted, it was the first game of, you know, the new season into the FA Cup. But I'm sorry, even before that, he had done absolutely nothing. He had his first shot on target since against probably Fulham, which is the first game of the season, against West Brom in the last fixture, and he came on as a sub. Enough said about Willian. Reece Nelson, I felt for me, you can tell it's either not going to work out or he needs a loan move. I felt there was too many times he's just taking too many touches. There was a chance he had, and I felt he should have really taken it first time, and he just takes another touch, and you know, it didn't really make good of the opportunity that was given to him. I really feel like Reece Nelson is under a lot of watch recently. And I know he's a young player and he's come for our youth academy, and I get that, but he hasn't really kicked on. I mean, a few low moves he's had in the past. Since he's come back, he's probably hasn't really done much. I mean, yes, he did score a goal against Leeds on our way to winning the FA Cup last season, but even after that, I mean, he hasn't really done much. Europa League football, yeah. He's probably had about a game or two that looked pretty decent. And then, you know, I guess it's a bit harsh because he has only just come back from injury. And again, that's another thing. His injury record is not really good. So I'm not sure on Reece Nelson at the minute. Joe Willock. Oh gosh, Joe Willock. He's another one. As I keep saying, the guy needs to go out on loan. A lot of Arsenal fans I've spoke to, you know, tell me they just feel he's not good enough. And you know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I don't feel Joe Willock is good enough at this level. I think it's too much for him. I feel he takes too many touches on the ball. Even when his first touch was shocking yesterday, absolutely shocking. There was a pass that he gave to Pepe where Pepe just, I don't know whether I think Pepe was a bit lazy trying to control it, but at the same time, the ball has to be straight to feet. I mean, it looked like he was going way past Pepe. Pepe did everything he tried, you know, in Pepe's way to control the ball, but it was awful. There were times where I just felt like he lost his head, and this was what I was complaining about. Funnily enough, it was against Newcastle last season where, you know, after Joe Willock had a very good performance in, you know, in a game where we should have won at Anfield against Liverpool, in the League Cup. He scored a banger in that game, and then obviously we thought, okay, well, let's see, let's give him a chance. And then of course he didn't take his chances. He was sloppy in that Newcastle fixture at home as well. And to be fair, not really much has developed from Joe Willock from last season, to be honest. And he has been given the opportunities again. Europa League, he scored some goals, but again, in the top level in the Premier League, it doesn't look like he can hold it down. And I'm just being honest. So, and I've said give him a loan move, but to be honest, I'm quite at the point where I feel we should really let him go. It's sad to say, and I'm not being negative. I'm just being honest. I'm not sure about Joe Willock. I've got to be honest. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about Reece Nelson and Joe Willock. Would you keep one of them and put one of them alone or both? Or would you look to get rid of both? I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of nearing to the point where I think we really should be looking to get rid of these guys, you know. Or if put one on loan, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Other than that, I think the rest of the team didn't really play too bad. I mean, it was boring. I can't forget Aubameyang. Good gosh. Aubameyang yesterday, Lacazette came off the bench. I don't know why I said Lacazette. I don't know. I just feel like, again, he was forcing it a little bit, just trying to pick up positions. But, you know, he got his goal in the end, which was good. Kieran Tierney, I keep saying this guy is immense. And funny enough, the guy who I want captain helped the actual captain in scoring a goal. I mean, Kieran Tierney is just amazing, isn't he? He comes out and makes his runs. And he was doing a lot of running. Even within half an hour, I thought he was gassed out. But the guy looks like he's got 3 sets of lungs, man. Honestly, he keeps going and he keeps fighting, he keeps driving. And this is what we want to see. Bukayo Saka came on as well. I mean, it's Saka. I mean, Saka's just absolutely amazing, isn't he? He just comes on, he does what he needs to do. He picks out the players, he makes the right runs. Picks out the great passes. That's what Saka does. Again, Saka is putting shame to guys like Pepe, who cost £72 million. And again, I've said it before, I said it again. It's not Pepe's fault he's cost that much. But even if we spent 30 mil, 40 mil, Saka still looks way more expensive than Nicolas Pepe. I have to be honest. And some Arsenal fans agree. Some Arsenal fans think I'm being harsh. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Like, performances. How many performances has Saka outshined Pepe? On Pepe's side, in terms of positioning, Saka can pretty much play everywhere. We see them in left wing back, left back, in the midfield, centrally, on left and right. Now we're seeing him more on the right, and it's looking like he's taking Pepe's spot. I'm sorry, you know, like I said in my preview, I think we definitely wasting our money buying Pepe when the answer was pretty much there in Bukayo Saka. It's as simple as that. Emile Smith-Rowe, pretty much, yes, Aubameyang got the last goal, but for me, Emile Smith-Rowe got the match-winning goal because, look, it was a hairy moment. At first, he thought we got sent off. I think a lot of people thought he got sent off. I necessarily didn't feel we got sent off. Of course, you know, check out Mr. Arsenal's podcast. Yesterday was doing a watch along, and I even said I don't think he got sent off. I just feel, you know, well, obviously the referee pulled out the red, but luckily for VAR, and the referee was even made to review it to make sure if it was definitely a sending off. I think it was a bit harsh. His leg did kind of dangle a bit, you know. He tried to tackle the ball, and then obviously, you know, he's obviously fell and his leg was kind of hanging, and obviously the players just kind of ran, and then the scream kind of made it look like, wow, that was quite serious, you know what I'm saying? And then obviously the referee reviewed it after initially giving Emile the red card, and a lot of us were like, what's going on? And then luckily the referee decided, you know, maybe it wasn't that harsh, and just basically called off the red card, changed his mind and gave him a yellow. And if anything, that really saved us, because we've had a lot of sending offs this season, and it's rare for Arsenal to get quite a lot of red cards in succession. To be fair, I know we ain't really had a red card in probably since Xhaka's red card against Southampton, but that wasn't really that long ago when you think about it. But Emile Smith-Rowe, a young lad who's come into the team, and he's pretty much changed it up. Just him being on the pitch, giving the rest of the team a lot more ideas, finding spaces, creating chances for everyone. I mean, it's such a breath of fresh air. I've said it so many times, and even him getting in the space and literally the goal itself, I have to say, was absolutely fantastic. Where he just touched the ball, so much calmness and composure in his finish, chest, touch, just and bottom corner, bang. I mean, and Dubravka was actually having a pretty decent game. I mean, shots taken at him, he dealt with it pretty well. you know, Newcastle's goalkeeper. But Emile Smith-Rowe, I mean, it was a perfect finish for him. And again, he's deserved it. He's deserved this. I remember he had a shot, I think it was in the West Brom game, where, you know, you felt he really, really should have scored. Not saying he could have done better, but I mean, in terms of how good he's been, it'd have been nice for him to get a goal. But it was, you know, it wasn't in the stars for him that night, but definitely it was yesterday night. So, you know, thank goodness for Emile Smith-Rowe to literally come on and literally create and get some chances and get himself a goal. So, again, hats off to him. And like I said, Aubameyang's goal drought has seemed to be ended. Of course, it will continue in the league. Of course, we've got Palace coming up on Thursday. But for him to get a goal, finally, you can see the relief and the smile that's been missing for a long time. Seems to be back at that time in the moment. And, you know, as I said, with Aubameyang, we have to get behind him. We know what he's capable of. This season hasn't really started off well for him. This is probably his first patch in quite some time, you know, for him as a player. He doesn't really go through this. Do you know what I'm saying? But for him to finally get a goal for the likes of Kieran Tierney, like I said, I couldn't praise Tierney high enough. This man's absolutely excellent. To pick him out and Aubameyang to be in the right position this time, because we've seen Aubameyang get into some positions and some positions he didn't really get into, but for Tierney to pick him out and Aubameyang to be in the right place at the right time, fantastic. So that's 2-0. And yeah, guys, on to the next round. And, you know, let's see who we get. And of course, for me, the talking points is from the rest of this game is, of course, Martinelli unfortunately is out. You know, like I said, at this time of recording, we are unsure on the injury and, of course, the duration of how long he'll be out for. Smith-Rowe, again, being a game changer. Lacazette, hold up. How can I end this video up without bringing on Lacazette? Lacazette and Granit Xhaka. And boy, that whole Xhaka combination seems to be the new spice in Arsenal. Whoa, let me not get carried away. Stop right there, Ryan. Stop. That seems to be a decent combination because every time these guys are on the pitch, something goes right. Touch wood. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is that it goes well. That I don't know. I'm lost for words right now. But Lacazette, again, coming on the pitch, affecting the game and pretty much doing what he has been doing. Again, doing what every Smith-Rowe's pretty much doing. Just finding the spaces, holding up the ball, bringing it down, finding the right players, and literally letting the game just go through him. You know what I'm saying? And this is very, very good from Alexander Lacazette. And I just hope that he can continue this form for the rest of the season because, again, there's been times he's had purple patches, which you've seen earlier on in the season. He started off the season pretty well, and then he just he got dropped and kind of just disappeared after that. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, Lacazette, Xhaka, I'll bring up Xhaka. Xhaka's pass to pretty much Kieran Tierney was absolutely fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. He just picked him out and then, you know, pretty much split the defence. And this is Granit Xhaka, who gets a lot of flack, and deservedly so. And we know Xhaka, he's just too arrogant. And we know personally, you know, for me, I still think we need to move on from him. But great pass from Xhaka yesterday. Absolutely great pass for him to get the pre-assist, what everyone likes to talk about. But yeah, that combination seems to be doing well. And it saved Mikel Arteta yesterday because it looked like we was going to go into penalties, which for me would have been absolutely stupid because the amount of chances we had or should have taken even more chances, then it would have been stupid. Because let's face it, Newcastle didn't really trouble us. They didn't. And I see why a lot of Newcastle fans are pretty upset with Steve Bruce. I mean, it wasn't good enough at all. I mean, it didn't really carry any threat. But they got us coming up soon in the league, so let's see if anything changes for Newcastle then. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can come away with that game with the dub as well. But we've got Crystal Palace coming up next, so stay tuned for the match preview coming up this week. So on that note, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Of course, my man of the match was Kieran Tierney. Again, Smith Rowe, definitely, for me, second place. I felt, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but I just think Tierney from start to finish was absolutely fantastic. Special regards to Saka when he came on. Lacazette doing what he did. And yeah, man, I just think those players stood out. Pablo Mari again having a good performance. It's gonna be troubling for Gabriel when he gets back, looking to get back in the side. I will say this because it don't look like Rob Holding's gonna get dropped at all, but we'll see. Anyways, on that note, guys, I'm signing off. Please like, share, and subscribe, and of course, yeah, guys, check out the next video that comes out on this channel. And peace.